Okay. All right. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Let me make sure this is actually correct. Ooh, thank you. Okay. All right. So I do expect for the market to at least come back into this range. Um, I think my target will get filled though. This. Okay. Let me look at the ES real quick. Okay. Honestly, I think the market is going to try to bounce, if not somewhere in this range, possibly here at 95 again. Yeah, I think we'll see. Hmm. Yeah, I think the market might actually be bouncing somewhere in this range. I guess I should have kept it because I was looking at this area for the bulls to come back into this range. It does appear that they're coming back in though. It does appear that way. Give me a second. Hmm. Yeah. If they don't knock this down, then we're gonna go back up. And it does look like we found support in this range because I was looking at this range last night. I shouldn't have been greedy on this last target and kept it at the bottom of this range right here. But this is my runner target. I have taken obviously majority of my profits off on this position. Yeah, I think this is it. Hmm. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So if we can get well, they've already done it, honestly. They've already done it. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, that was my fault. I shouldn't have moved it. I shouldn't have moved that target down a little bit more. What I was trying to do was get my 100 points, but I knew that the market was going to bounce here. And unfortunately for my position, we saw this move up. What I wanted to do was actually, I think I might have gotten filled on ES. I may have gotten filled. Oh, ah, 49. Wow, I got missed by a tick. I got missed by a tick. I got missed by a tick. Damn it. All right. Ah, man, I should have kept it. and it touched at 8:30. It got down to 8:36. So in last night's NA meeting, we talked about this range being a potential area for the bulls to come back in. We did see an initial bounce from this area. However, the market did sell off from this area. And if we did saw this sell off, what I was looking for was for the market to protect 795. Now, we did get price to kind of close underneath it, but this was not a strong close. So because this was not a strong close, the bears got trapped in this move. And from this is where we saw that move up higher. So this was literally the area that I was looking for price to react in last night. And I think I'm doing the wrong color. In last night's NA meeting. And this 835 level, they use this as support. If you're going to short this, I would keep a quick target, possibly even right here. I might actually take this long. If I see, I'll try it here. I'll try. Possibly. Let's see what happens if it gets to 55. I think 55 would actually be, this would actually be a better, okay. Well, we'll see. We'll see if I can field on this. I think 55 will be a better entry to go long. Well, okay. Well, I guess if I got into this area right here, 83, I would have got stopped out just for it to go in my favor. Or, yeah. Honestly, I wouldn't even trust that. I wouldn't even trust that short. I wouldn't trust that. Uh, Man, I literally missed this by a tick. Literally missed this entry by a tick. Literally missed it by a tick. That's why you gotta be perfect with the ES. I mean, she's perfect. I literally missed this entry by a tick. So that's frustrating. I'm not gonna lie about that. That's definitely frustrating. Um, Hmm. All right, so let's. Oh crap! What am I doing? Okay. All right, so let's see what they do here. The entry that I want is if we do get a small rejection here, I want to get in long right here. You know what? No, no, I wouldn't do that. I'm not doing that. So what I was thinking, I can possibly have like a small risk to reward trade down back into this area. Actually, maybe I should do that. Now, I don't necessarily trust this, so I'm going to protect myself on this one because I would prefer to go long, but I just shorted it because this was just a good risk to reward trade to the downside. So that's why I took it. Mhm. Okay. All right. So yeah, this honestly, I should be done for the day. I mean, I've already made the daily profit target in this account, so I'll switch to another account and I'll trade that because this is basically done. All right. So we got all our targets hit. Nice. We're gonna just all right. Good trade. Good trade. Just to kind of go over that trade. So what I was looking for was as price traded back into this range, I was looking for price to come back here. Um, I do think that we can go long here. So what I'll do is, I mean, I'll just set another area. Honestly, this might be too high. That might be too high. I kind of want the best risk to reward trade. I kind of want to put it underneath this candle. Just in case I have to scale into this. I wouldn't mind scaling in right here if we see that. We see a little bit more room for downside. I do think that we definitely have some room to run today. So what I will do is I think that we can at least get to 20 today, possibly. We can possibly see that. Kind of want to spread the love just in case. And I think why not? Emoji two. Spread the love out just in case. What I should do is actually kind of reduce the risk up like a little bit right here. Yeah. And just let the market do its thing. Hmm. Let me make sure. Let me make sure. That does look bearish. That does look bearish. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. I guess I should have stayed in that short. Hmm. 855. Okay. Okay. So now this trade is nah. I won't. I won't. Um, I won't. This will probably no. This will be my last trade, and the rest of the trades that I take today will be in the sim. I'm already up right now, 3K, $3,200. So this will be it for me today. I'm not going to overtrade in these accounts. I've already hit the daily profits in 2 accounts already, and so I'm just going to go into the sim and trade the sim if we get stopped out of this trade right here. But I won't add to this position. But I do think that the market has a lot more room for upside. I do think so. Let me actually just tell you what I think. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So I think that we have room to get all the way up here to 2030 to about 2050 to 60, somewhere back into this range right here. We also have the 200 EMA sitting right at this range, which, I mean, I don't see that as a coincidence. I kind of see that as, okay, this is highly likely where the market wants to go. We don't know how it's going to get there. We don't know if it's going to reject first and then go up here or just go straight here, reject. I mean, that's the part we don't know. But we can make a good determination that that's where the market wants to go. So my bias is at least to this area. What I'm really thinking that we might actually get to is possibly around this 150 to 160 area back up here. I really think the market wants to come back in and test this level. And if we can see a breakout from this level, Siri, ain't nobody talking to you. No. All right, so yeah, if we can see a breakout from this level, then we do see VWAP at 260, but that's highly unlikely. It's not unheard of, but it's highly unlikely. So I'm looking for at least 2030, at least. And then I'm pretty sure we're going to see some rejection at this 162 area. 162 about possibly 135 might actually be that area, because you can see that this range is right here. We got a breakout of that range twice. They came back and tested the bottom of this range and rejected. So yeah, we might see like 115 to 135. That's what we probably see. And it does appear that I may get stopped out of this. And if I do, it's not a big deal. I made majority of my profits already. The rest of these are runners. And we'll just get into the sim. But I don't want to just say that we're just going to go higher. I mean, that's my bias. We do see a triple bottom right here on the Nasdaq. We see a triple bottom. Usually when we see triple bottoms and we see price come out and break structure from this, we usually don't see a break of triple bottoms, not from the middle of the chart. I mean, we do have price trading in this big giant range for right now. Okay. Let me see if I can get that back. Okay, so yeah, so we got price trading in this big giant range. We got this triple bottom right here. So this is support. We got the bear selling it up here. So this is resistance. I mean, if we do see price tap back into this level, then that would tell me that we have a lot more room for downside. If they can't even break from these highs, if they can't break from it. But it does look like they're finding support here at this range, at this equilibrium range right here. Because right now, this range is acting as equilibrium right now. So it does look like they're finding support here. So that's why my bias will stay to the upside until we get a break from this range. We get a retest and we get a move down. This price action will change my bias. If we don't get this price action, then my bias would be to the upside. You said don't let it come back to break even. Well, JC, these are my runner targets. So I take the bulk of my profits in the middle. What these runner targets do, and the reason why I set my break even to +1, or honestly, in this case, I'll probably put it like right here. The reason why I keep these runners is to prevent me from getting in and out of trades, and it protects me. It protects me from myself. We all know that the NQ is highly addictive. And once you get out of a trade, because of that massive adrenaline dump, dopamine, whatever chemicals that the Nasdaq releases inside of you, you're looking for that next fix. And you're going to try to, well, not you, but usually what happens is we like to make shit up. The body wants what it wants. It wants to get high. It wants that feeling again. And once you get out that trade, you're just looking for the next hit. So what these runner targets do, it prevents me from closing out of the position. I have my targets in crazy areas that it could get to, but it lets me stay. It allows me to stay in the trade. I'm not looking for the next trade. I'm not over trading. And I gave this trade as much room as possible to hit these targets to be successful. And by the done of it, or by the end of this trade, it's usually 10 o'clock. We're done trading at that time, and it just protects me. That's why if you see I allow price to come back to my break even, that's why. It's just to protect myself from myself, basically. But like I said, I literally missed this by a tick. A tick. That's why we say that trading the ES, you have to be absolutely perfect. Absolutely perfect. Because every point matters. Because from this bounce, if I would have gotten at 81 even, it only got to the high of, so it only made a 13-point move. Now, anywhere between that, yeah, we would have got in our 10 points. But having price kind of miss you by a tick is kind of heartbreaking. But then if I got in early, like I got in 2 or 3 points early, I would have just gotten my 10 points hit. So with the ES, you just kind of have to pick your spots and hope. All right, so yeah, I basically gave this trade all. Actually, I'll put it underneath this right here. Like I said, I gave this trade all that I'm willing to give. Okay, so I'm out of that trade. I'm done for the day. So I only lost $200 in that trade. So, actually, no, I lost $300 in that trade. That's fine. I'm still up $2,700 today, so I'll take that as a win. And from now on, I'm just going to take the trades in the sim. I think what I should do first is actually take that trade off on the ES, I think. I think I still have it on. Yeah, I do have it on. I do. Okay. So yeah, so Smith has decided to, or at least for right now, he's decided he just got back home. Smith is spending time with his family, so he'll definitely be back next week. And we have a lot of stuff for you guys next week, at least or my channel. There's going to be a lot of updates. He's going to be focusing on, so I guess the structure that we're trying to go for is that I will be more focused for the less experienced traders, just having consistent wins every day, risk to reward. We're being patient for our entries. We're getting out of our positions at multiple exits, and we have runners so we don't overtrade. Smith will be more for the more experienced traders. I think his style fits a lot more people's style. People just want to get in and out. My focus is that I want to show people how to trade, people that want to trade. That's going to be my focus. So you're not going to see heavy size. You're not going to see anything out of the ordinary. We're just going to have strategic entries and exits. And that's going to be the purpose of my channel. I'm going to update the look of my channel as well on Monday. So it'll be a different format with Smith. I don't know if he's going to get back on camera. I'm pretty sure he will. He has to probably just set everything back up. And yeah, we'll just get back. We'll get back to we'll get back to how it used to be, but a little bit better. I will say that at least for both me and Smith, we definitely have grown a lot. We do appreciate you guys sticking with us. There was a lot of changes, and there's a lot of people out there that y'all guys could have went to watch them trade, but y'all guys chose to stick with us, and we do appreciate that. So we definitely like doing this for you guys, and this actually helps us grow as well, because I will say this: I do gamble off stream in accounts that I have specifically for gambling, and my results on stream versus gambling is totally different. I don't want to be patient. I just want to trade. I just want to see the candles go up and down and my P&L go up and down. And I have accounts specifically for that. And like my Top Step X accounts, that's what I have it for. Actually, I could just, instead of trading in the sim, I guess I could just trade Top Step X. Well, anyway, never mind. But me and Smith have talked about it. We have noticed that we do a phenomenal job on stream. So as much as this helps you guys, it helps us stay consistent. It helps us be more patient with our trades, because we kind of do have people looking over our shoulder. And because of that, me and Smith, we had a lot of growth because of that. A lot of growth. And I appreciate that, man. We we appreciate this. Like I said, I don't think there's nobody else on YouTube doing what me and Smith is doing for free. And even paid services, they don't get the same results that me and Smith get. They just don't. But yeah, definitely excited for next week, man. Finally, I was telling my physical risk manager, like, man, this has been definitely a journey. Like, if you started with us from the beginning, I want my damn targets, only trading minis. You couldn't get me to even to trade micros at all. I thought I still think micros are kind of not necessarily a waste of time. However, for less experienced traders, micros are the best thing. And one of the concerns that I had before I had to prove it to myself is that you couldn't make money in micros. I've shown at least this entire week that you can definitely make, well, shit, ever since I switched to micros. I think I've made more money in micros than I made trading minis, which blows my mind. I've made more money. I've kept my accounts longer because days like yesterday and I think Wednesday and Thursday? Yeah, Wednesday and Thursday, where the market would trade in one direction. If you're trading in minis, your account is basically gone. Yesterday, as much as the back and forth between my accounts, bringing my P&L back up, it going back down, bringing it up, going back down. All I lost yesterday was $1,000. $1,000. That's all I lost yesterday. If that was in minis, that account would have been blown. Blown. So if there's anything that I would want to convince anybody that's just starting out, micros is where you need to be at. It's definitely where you need to be at. You'll keep your account longer. The amount of money that I saved, like I would spend like over $2,000 on evals because I would blow them on days like yesterday and yesterday and Thursday, or yesterday and Wednesday, and I would have to get resets, buy more. But when I was in these micros, I've had accounts for over a month, and I've had bad days, and I've made up for them with my good days. So micros are definitely a key part of that, and I'm not going to sit here and be ego. I'm not going to allow my ego to mislead me into believing that that's not the case, because it is, and definitely is. So I said that I would never trade ES because of how slow it is, but I will say that ES is definitely cleaner. Like, even though we had that big drop on the Nasdaq, the ES, even if you were wrong yesterday, it only traded in a what? Now that was a 100-point range, and my bad. But at the start of the session, even if he was wrong at the start of the session, the market only traded in a 43-point range. That's it. And the ES doesn't, I mean, like I said, you shouldn't even be getting into a position in the middle of the chart anyway on the ES. You shouldn't even be getting in a position. You should be sticking to the tops, and you should be sticking to the bottoms. So even if you got in at the top, like you're supposed to, you would have been good. Even if you went long, you would have took a small loss versus the NQ, where, yeah, you fucked up if you wanted to. Look at this big drop to the downside. This was over, I think, what, 400 points? If I'm not mistaken, 404 points. I think I did the math right yesterday. So this big drop was a 596 points to the downside. If you fucked up at any point in time in this trade and didn't respect your stops, your account was blown. And so I also realized that trading the ES is much safer for inexperienced traders as well. That's why I made the switch over to ES and try to learn it as much as possible. And oh crap, I think oh no, never mind. Okay. So yeah, they actually might bounce this. And this is a good thing about the ES too. If you trade gold and you trade CL, the ES does the same thing. If you're switching from gold and CL, it trades structurally. You can kind of predict what the ES is going to do. I mean, there was times yesterday where, support got ran through. But here's the good thing about what happens when support gets ran through. If price comes back into this range, to short it. The ES doesn't play the same games that the Nasdaq plays. If price trades back into this, this is a good risk reward short, and it will literally look like this. Literally look like this on the ES. The only thing that we have to kind of be mindful of on the ES is that you have to be patient, because she is slow. So I mean, that's just the only thing. And I think a good example, I saw this yesterday when I was looking at the charts. Let me actually take this off. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna take that off. I saw this yesterday, and I was telling myself that this was a good opportunity to go short, but it took the entire day for it to set up, or at least this set it up at 12 o'clock, and at 1:30 in the morning, you got this trade. Look at this consolidation. Look at this breaker structure. We got this double bottom here at this low, and it only swiped liquidity at least like 1 point, and we got price to trade back up into this range. Now, and this is what I'm talking about. Once we see that break of structure, a good risk reward trade will be to enter here at that break of structure and have your stop above these highs, if that's what you wish to do. However, in my opinion, you don't even need this much risk, because if the ES runs its highs, that means it's going further. It doesn't pop like this and then drop. It's not what she does. She doesn't do that. You can have a good 3 to 5 points of risk, 3 to 5 points of risk right here for all this reward. And that's what makes trading the ES better. It's more stable. You're just going to have to wait for it, unfortunately. And if you're addicted to the NQ like we all are, the ES is too slow. It's just too slow. It's just too slow. But we could see it. Hmm, hmm. I do see this range right here. Let's see if they're going to try to hold it. $8.54. So let's see if they'll bounce it at this 55. Let's see if they'll bounce it. You're right about that. You're right about that. Game weight. You're definitely right about that. It's the last game in town, baby. Yeah, for sure. I definitely agree. Honestly, if you I wouldn't advocate anybody copying trades. I will share my analysis. What I really want is for people to, well, how do I want to say this? What I want to do, what my goal is just to point out areas where we can see a bounce, an area where we can see a reaction from the players in this game. I don't necessarily want people to follow my trades, just to guide you in areas so you can make your own decisions. Because I mean, this is a what they call it, a zero sum game, where either you with me or you're just my liquidity. I mean, there's either you with me or you're just my liquidity. I mean that's just how it is, man. So if people copy trades, then you know that you're doing it at your own risk. I don't necessarily make too many mistakes, but at the same time, I'm not going to sit here and say that I don't get blinded by my bias at times. Because all we can do is identify good areas to take a trade, and that's all we can do, baby. That's all we can do. And this is something that I'm also learning with the Nasdaq. I mean, you just have to, when it comes to the Nasdaq, you kind of have to trade. You kind of have to trade her like the ES. And what I mean by that is, even though she's crazy, she's definitely not that crazy. She's definitely not that crazy. And unfortunately, excuse me. And unfortunately, you have to trade her. Even though you can get away with trading her in the middle at times, you can get away with it. I mean, this right here, trading in the middle, this is like a good 20, 30 points. This one good trade right here could be somebody's week or day. Their daily target is this move right here. So you can get away with it. But if you want to catch the big moves on the Nasdaq with little to no drawdown, you have to wait. You have to be patient for her to finish her moves, her back and forth moves. Allow her to come back into support to push it back up higher. You have to wait for her. I've come to accept that from her. That you can't tell her what she can't do because she'll do it. Last night I was looking at the charts and I was like, there's no way that she's gonna, after making a double bottom move like this, there's no way she's coming back down here. But then I looked at the charts and said, no, that's exactly what she's going to do. Even though I don't want to believe it, that's exactly what she's going to do. Because as much bullish momentum that the Nasdaq has, we understand that she can do it, but she's not that crazy. If you look at this chart, it was highly likely for price to reject here once price traded back up into this area. And even though we got all this bullishness at the end of the day, even though we had this double top, there were still bears resting here at this area. So when I was looking at the charts last night, I was like, okay, so if we get a rejection here, where does the bears want to go? And where will the bulls step in? I think on the smaller time frame chart, I was looking at price to bounce around that 55.30 area. The reason why I was saying that area specifically was because of this little range right here. So I was expecting the bulls to come in right here. And then from here, if the market went back up, then I know that we can break out of this range. But if we came back to this 795 area and that did not hold and it broke this double bottom, all the liquidity that's resting under here would have got ran and we would have saw that move to the downside. We would have saw a retest, and this is where that risk reward short would have came in for that continuation to move down. So that's just the one thing that I've really starting to accept with the Nasdaq, that just don't get caught up in her bullish moves. Now, if we have news, I do see a trend where she'll just trade straight through areas without question. She'll just trade through it. The bears will try to short it. We'll see a break of this structure. They'll come back, and then we start to see the market trend up and trend down, trend up and trend down on news days. And then once the news is released, or we get closer to the actual event, that's when I start to see the market crash like this, and we can't even get the bulls to buy it nowhere, because now the market wants to rebalance all the areas that it just ran through. And I think this is a good example of that. This is why when we had that big move up, I mean, I didn't expect for them to do it like this, but Like, look at all this. Look, like once we got that high, or it was this high that started it at 597, you couldn't get bulls to buy this thing. You couldn't get them to buy it because how price was running up past all these areas of supply, anticipating the news from Jerome Powell. And once we got that news, we got this massive move down to rebalance this area right here. Now, I will also say that we do have we got peak week next week. We have big earnings next week. So honestly, on top of getting that news from Jerome Powell, and then for the market to prepare for earnings for next week, this big drop was kind of expected, in my opinion. We just didn't think it was going to be that massive. But right now, I mean, price is basically just trading in between these ranges right here. We got a rejection from this range, and we got support from this range. We also have OPEX today. I just saw that this morning. So I'm pretty sure the market is going to chop until about 11 or 12 o'clock. So the market makers can expire majority of the contracts as possible. And I think after that 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock hour, we're going to see a run. We're definitely going to see a run to the up or downside. Once all those contracts are nice and expired and all the premium is gone, then the market will possibly start to move again. And for sure, honestly, I just thought about this too. Kind of going back to your comment, I think a lot of people, honestly, I really don't know. I'm just making an assumption, but I will make the assumption and assume that a lot of people just don't want to get sued. I mean, we got disclaimers all in the description and everything. So I mean, if you're going to copy a trade, it's at your own risk. However, you can sue anybody for anything in this country for some reason, and I don't understand why. We are not financial advisors. Me and Smith were two guys in our office trading literally in our hoodies. We're trading in our hoodies. If you assume that we're financial advisors, I got a bridge in California I want to sell you. And I'm gonna need all the cash up front. What's up, Smith? What's up? He says, look rangy with the downside outlook. Huh. And see, that's the thing about me and Smith. We have differences of opinions. That's what makes us a great team. That what makes us a great team. Because I was actually thinking about this as well. Yesterday, when I was kind of blinded by my bias to the upside, I know Smith would have been like, nah, take a look again. Look at the hourly chart. Look at the 4-hour chart. Look at this and that. We're going down. And vice versa. And with the Nasdaq, you kind of need multiple people's opinions that you can trust, because the Nasdaq is definitely, she can get crazy. Because if you don't know what you're looking at, if you don't know what to look for, this right here can be very intimidating. But actually, let me just demonstrate that. Let me really demonstrate, like without these ranges. Let me just open a new chart up. Yeah, without these ranges drawn off with the structure, I mean, honestly, I can still see the structure because I'm used to it. I'm used to seeing it with the ranges, with or without it. But this can be very intimidating. You don't know where to get in at. You don't know where to get out at. This can be very intimidating right here versus having structure. And it's like, oh, okay, this makes sense. So we see that this is an area of potential resistance. So if we sell short here, it's highly likely that we're going to get a move to the downside. And if we do get a move to the downside, where do we see support? Well, I see support here in this area. I see a potential area for it to bounce here. So if I'm in short, I can take my profits here, get in here, possibly a retest of this high. And if we do get down, and if they do come in short, where does it want to go? So you're always asking the question, where does price wants to go? And if you can identify where it wants to go, then this is basically free money. And if you're wrong, you're just going to have to accept risk. I kind of want to go over that as well, so we're all prepared for next week. This is my ATM strategy. I did reduce it. So originally it was at 18 for me, but then as I thought about it, for newer traders, 18 contracts is basically 2 minis, basically. So I went it down to 15. And then this morning I was looking at it again, and I was saying that might actually be too much as well, because that's 1.5 minis, and that might be too much risk. So to split the baby on this, 13 micro contracts is a good in between from justifying trading in the micros versus the minis. We have 3 runner targets, and we have 10 of our contracts taking profits at, I think the highest is at, so this is 18 points of risk. So 72 ticks is 18 points. We have a 1-to-1 first target. So either we lose, I think if we were to not get any of our targets hit and we were to lose this whole position, I think this is only a $432 loss. If you're trading on the 50K account, you have 3 chances before you hit daily loss limit. 3 chances. We don't take more than 3 losses in a row. I don't think that, I don't think we've done that so far. Anyway. But I guess I'm trying to go through my thought process. It's highly unlikely that we lose 3 trades in a row, especially if we're looking at the charts and we're getting in at gray areas. It's highly unlikely. Now, if you're buying the top, well, this system ain't going to work if you're buying and chasing the top. This system works with you being patient and waiting for price to trade up into areas of support and resistance. So that's what this ATM strategy is designed for, because there's only 18 points of risk. So we got our first target at 18 points. We got our second target at 27 points. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, 18 times 2 times 5 plus 27. So if we get our first and second target hit, we got $450 of profit. I know that's low. That's honestly, I had to fight myself about that this morning, because it's like, you can make more than this. However, we want to stay in these accounts as long as possible. So $450 consistently on 5 days, that's $2,200 a week, which is good. That's good. And then we got our runner targets. We have a runner at 36, 45, and 50. Plus 89 plus, I think it's like 100 or something. Plus 45. So this entire move, if we were to get all of our targets hit, this entire move would be $703. And if we do that consistently over a week, that'll be $3,500. And if you're in the 50K account, and that means you can take a payout and still have $2,200 still left in your account. And if we get all of our targets hit, the rule has to be that we have to stop for today and come back tomorrow. Or if you want to continue to trade, I would highly recommend trading in the sim. With this strategy, we can get paid out. The part that you have to, and this is hard for me too, you just have to be patient. We just have to be patient. And if you're not patient, then this strategy is not going to work. And this is going to be something for me to work on as well, being more patient. I'm forced to be patient in the ES. In the Nasdaq, you don't have to be patient if you don't want to, and that's what makes trading the Nasdaq, that adds an extra layer to trading the Nasdaq, because you're basically free to do what you will, to do what thou wilt in the Nasdaq, basically. So do as I will. So, yeah, that's what we got planned for next week and moving forward. I'm excited about that. I really am. I really am excited about that. Yeah, I'll send you the documentation. I'll send the documentation. Okay. All right. So let's see. So the ES basically crashed the same way. So, So let's see. Let's look at the ES, man. Huh. Let's see if they're gonna try to. Let's see. Let's see. Because they haven't done it on the Nasdaq yet. They haven't done it on the Nasdaq. Let's see if it's gonna take that low out. Let's see if it's gonna actually bounce here at 795. Let's look at the ES. Because I'm thinking that it may come. I really want to see if it's going to bounce here at like 71 or something like that. If we can see the bulls to come back in at 71. Hmm. Yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate that, Alan. Yeah, this analysis, like I said, as much as it helps you guys out, it helps me out as well. Because I don't want to be wrong. And when you're driven not to be wrong, you triple check, double check, you just check, just make sure you're right. So, like I said, it helps me as much as it helps you, or for those that are willing to listen. Let me see. Let me look at this. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. That's all you can do at this point. Hmm. Okay. I think this might be a fake. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Because it did stop at 72. I'm looking for price to, if not 70 to 7. I think it might. So let's just see. I want to see. I kind of want to see what happens on this one. I want to see if they'll come in here. Uh, Forgot which one. I think it's this one. I might have to actually redo this one as well. Yeah, 50, 75. So I want to see if it comes in here. With this strategy, I think this one pops up. Yeah, okay. At 8 points. I think this is a 9-point strategy, or 8 to 9 points. And we're getting out a majority of ours. We're getting out majority of the profits at, that's 9 points. It's 9 points. And then it'll move back up to 8 points, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so let's see what happens. If we get a break below this low, if we get a break below this, then I'm actually looking at price to actually come back and possibly touch that 57 area. If we don't get price to bounce here. Yeah, about 57, 59, somewhere in this area, somewhere in this range. My bet will possibly be 59.60. Yeah, somewhere in here. Somewhere in here, because we got all this support. We got resistance turning to support somewhere in this area. If we get a break of that low. But knowing the ES, it probably won't even break that low for real. It probably just ping pong back and forth. But that would be considered bullish. We have a new candle being bullish on the hourly. Yeah, that's looking like, yeah, okay. So where did it bounce at? Where did it bounce? I don't know why. It bounced literally at that low right there. It bounced literally at that low. I'm pretty sure the Nasdaq did the same thing. Yep. And it did the same thing that it did last night. It ran everybody that was sitting at 795. It trapped the bears, and now we're making a move back up to the upside. But now what the bears are going to have to do is protect this trend line. Okay. So now we're going to need a break above 855. But actually, we're going to have to actually watch the bottom of this range right here at 35. We're going to have to watch the bottom of this because we got resistance turning into support. I'm sorry, support turning into resistance. And we got that strong low. I mean, that strong close underneath this low. You can see that they're coming back here. And we have the 50 EMA sitting right here. We got the 200 and we have VWAP. So we'll see if the bulls are able to kind of push into this range, if not completely reject here at 935 or somewhere close to it. So we're going to see. No. Huh. Yeah, I feel like, huh. Looking on the ES as well. We got the same thing on the ES actually as well. We got the same thing. Huh. We'll see if this entry is going to work. Now, I'm just trying to see what happens. I just want to see what happens. I would, uh, yeah, I just want to see what happens on this one. I just want to see if the market is going to bounce here at this low. That's what I want to see. But we got the same thing that we saw on the Nasdaq. We got support turning into resistance. We have a strong close below the low. We have a pullback here at the top of this range. And now we're seeing the market sell off from this area. So, all right, so let's see if we can get filled. Wouldn't that be poetic justice? Hmm. 7150, possibly just. Hmm. Hmm. Oh, wouldn't that be interesting if that thing just literally missed me by. So that's a tick, about 2 ticks. I got missed by 2 ticks if this trade works out. But if you caught this at this range, so 80, so yeah, 10 points right here. You would have got your 10 points with this little sell off right here. Hmm. Only would have took 1 point of drawdown if you got in at 80, 1 point in a tick of drawdown, and you would have got your 10 points on the ES. Hmm. And it's also looking like we got that bounce on the Nasdaq as well from the bottom of this range. So we'll see if that hold. We'll see if this holds. It looks like it will. But we still gotta be mindful that if price gets to the top of this trend line at 829 to 830, we can possibly start to see the bears to try to come back in and knock this thing back down at the top of this trend line. So be mindful of that. Possibly around 835. I do want to pay attention to this right here. I do want to pay attention to that. Hmm. Okay. Yeah, so this might be yeah. Unfortunately, in this situation, we got the 50 EMA gatekeeping our first target. Um, we might have to sit in this one for a while. And this is kind of why I hate trading the ES, but I'll definitely trade it, so don't worry about it. I just hate trading it because we get stuff like this to happen. Hmm. But honestly, I'm surprised at that, honestly. So this bounced at 70 and then rejected at 78. Huh. Hmm. Just gotta be patient, I guess. Right now, I know that if price comes below this low, then that means that we're definitely going to see some more downside. And that's the good thing about the ES. You don't have to you don't have to do mental gymnastics and hope I mean, there's a lot of benefits trading the ES that if you're coming from the Nasdaq that you're not going to see. I think the only thing that is painful from switching from the Nasdaq to the ES is that you have to be patient, and on top of being patient, you're not getting the 100-point moves every day. You're not getting the 50-point moves every day. A good trade on the Nasdaq on the ES is an 8 to 10-point trade. 13 to 20 if you're lucky. We only get 100-point moves if we got like news or something like that. But for the most part, the ES will trade in like in the 15 to 20-point range for the entire day. And you would have to catch the exact top and bottom to capture all of that. So you have to kind of be perfect. Every point matters with the ES. Your positioning matters. Your trade location matters. It matters. All that stuff matters. You have to pay attention to the EMAs because she's not the NQ. She will reject at these EMAs. And you definitely have to be mindful of where the 200 and VWAP is on ES because these two EMAs for sure matter. For sure. We may can get priced to trade above the 21 and the 50. But when it comes to the 200 and VWAP on the ES, she don't play no games. And if I can find some examples of what I'm talking about. You see how when it comes to the 200, she don't play no games with the 200 EMA. She don't play the games with the 200 EMA. She got a break below that 200 EMA. You got that drop. Comes back up. You got that drop. She don't play with that 200 EMA. When we finally got that break out of it, you see how it almost comes back to the 200 EMA and bounces from it? She don't play about it. When it comes to VWAP, she don't play about it. So if you're an ES trader using VWAP and the 200 EMA is definitely a cheat code because she doesn't play about these EMAs. I think I may have made a mistake somewhere. Okay. So I think I got my first target. I think I got the stop almost. There we go. Oh, okay. Huh. Okay. Okay. So we did see this breakout from the 200. I'm not the 200. This downward trend, but we are seeing that rejection here at this 35 area on the Nasdaq. Now, if the bulls want to be successful here, they want to be successful and they want to continue the trade price higher, which honestly, I think we can at least get the 200, if not VWAP. I'm pretty sure that's probably where the market eventually wants to get to. So I'm pretty sure we'll most likely see a rejection in these areas. But we still have to respect that there's going to be bears here at this neckline. We have to respect that. They're already coming in. But they do have this trend line that's stopping them right now. And they do have the 21 and the 50 right now. And we do see players trying to buy it right here. The question is, will the buyers, will they be successful? So this will definitely be a 50-50 trade on both sides right now. This is both 50-50. It's whoever wants it more at this area. If the bears are successful, we can definitely see a double bottom at least, or price to trade into this range. If the bears are successful, I mean, the bulls are successful, we're going to see at least a retest at the top of this range, at least at 55, 54, at least. And then the next objective will be VWAP, and then 900 will be that next objective for the bulls. And then we will need to break out the top of this range, taking out this high. And if we can see a break from this, price to come back in and find support, we can definitely see higher prices. But looking at the higher time frame chart, it does appear that the Nasdaq does appear to be at least bullish for right now. We've seen them find support here at this range. They've been finding support here at this range. They've been really rotating back and forth at this range, and they found support. And yep, 853. We definitely gotta get over 853 first. We have to get to the bottom of this range at 870. And if we can get over that, and then we can definitely start to see this. I mean, if we get over this level at 890, the sky's the limits. The sky's is the limits at that point, if we can get over it. But I think we're good. I think we're good unless they just super drop this thing, which I highly doubt they will, but we are starting to see a lot of we're starting to see the bulls pushing through. If you look at Bookmap, it does appear that there are people moving their orders up, but there is a lot of bearish pressure here. They're trying to sell it. And I've always said if it's not going down, that means it's about to go up. And with all this bearishness, with all the bears trying to push this area down, and they're failing to do so, that tells me that the market wants to go up. And as I say it, all right, we got that first first target. Shit. Shit. Okay. All right, so this is how I did today. I think that's about what, 4K almost, 4K. That's what I did today. All right, I'm in the stream here. I'm in it early today. We definitely, like I said, we definitely got a lot planned for you guys next week. There'll be a new look for the channel, at least for mine. I've been kind of playing around with different looks, and I think I found, or I created one that I think y'all guys are going to enjoy. So, but all right, guys, enjoy your Friday, and we'll do this again on Monday. Peace out.